In this video, we're going to download a text editor to help us write our code. There are tons of text editors out there, but the one that I found to be the absolute easiest for beginners to work with is called Brackets. You're more than welcome to play around with other text editors. There's some awesome ones out there. Sublime Text, Atom, VS Code are among some of the top choices for free text editors. But one of the nicest parts about Brackets is that it comes baked in with what it calls Live Preview, which is really just a simple HTTP server that will serve up your website at the click of a button. So I'm going to, once again, open Chrome. And in this follow along, I'm also going to show you some really good extensions that you can add to Brackets to make it a little more robust. So I'm just going to go to, I think it's brackets.io, and click Download Brackets. This is the same as what we've been doing so far with downloading. So won't make you wait for this, but we'll start it up again in a second. Okay, and this is asking if we want to keep it. We do. Brackets is safe. And I'm just going to click the download there. It's going to mount the disk image. And once again, I'll drag Brackets right into my applications folder to install it. And I'm going to clean up a little bit, so I'll close this window, eject the disk image, Command E, and delete the disk image file. And let's open Brackets now. By the way, this search that I'm doing here is by hitting Command Spacebar. You can also get to this, it's called Spotlight Search. You can also get here by clicking this little magnifying glass in the upper right. And what's nice is I can just type Brackets, and it doesn't seem to be here yet. So actually I might have to go to my applications folder and open Brackets here. Sometimes it just needs to index. Click Open. And here we go. This is just a base getting started file that they have for you. And you can close this. And everything is pretty straightforward with Brackets. There's a couple parts that I'll show you right here where it says Getting Started. This is actually a folder. And so what I would always recommend you do is open the folder of the root folder of the project you're working on. So if I am in my dev folder and I want to create a new project, I'm going to create a new folder, call it test, and I'll click open. And then from here, I'm going to just right click anywhere and make my new files, test.html. Okay, and from here I can also I can create new folders, another folder. I can create files inside that folder by right clicking on that folder and going inside. Main.js, and so forth. There's a few more things I'd like to show you while we're here. If you go to Brackets, Preferences, or pretty universally, you can hit Command comma to get you to the preferences. This might be a little bit confusing at first. So over here on the left, this is not what we're used to seeing when we see preference panes, right? Usually a dialog box pops up and we have a chance to interact with kind of a GUI interface. Well, here, these on the left pop up with your default preferences. So this is what it automatically assumes that you're going to want. And over here on the right, you have brackets.json, which is your custom settings. Okay, so for example, fonts.fontsize, I may want this to be a little bit bigger, so for our purposes, I might make this 18 pixels, and then I'm going to hit Command S to save, and you'll see that that updates my settings. When I'm done, I can go over here and close these, and all my settings are up to date with the larger font size. Okay, so it's worth looking around the settings here. You might find some things that you're interested in enabling, but the point is over here on the left, actually I don't think I mentioned this, over here on the left you are unable to edit these. It won't let you edit, it's locked. So if you ever want to change a setting, let's say true to automatically close braces, brackets, and parentheses. I don't know why you'd want this to be false, but if I did, I would copy this, come over here and add it to this JSON object. And here I would change it to false. Okay, so these override these. So that's how you can change those settings. I haven't found the need to change too many things other than maybe the font size, and I guess you could play around with some really cool things like font family and so forth. I'm going to close these. I do want to save. Right here, you can decide how the split in the screen is going to be. You'll see over here it has files on the left and on the right. You can drag one file to the other side by dragging it down to the right category, and then it'll show up over here. You can also do a horizontal split, so these become top and bottom, or no split at all. But this right here, these are this is the extension manager, like it says, and this is where you can manage all of your extensions. And these are excellent for helping you customize brackets to do kind of more what you actually want it to do. So a lot of third-party packages here. You can see this list just keeps scrolling and scrolling. I'm going to show you a few that I have found to be very helpful. So the first thing I'm going to do is search for autosave, and it usually pops up pretty fast. I like this one that's autosave files on window blur. So I'm going to install autosave files on window blur, and what's nice about this is I never have to think about saving my files again. Okay, a lot of times you will make changes, forget to hit Command S or File Save All or Save, and you'll go to your site, you'll refresh, and the changes don't seem to be there, and you'll pull your hair out realizing that you just forgot to save eventually. So what's nice about this is if I ever blur to another window, even Finder, it doesn't look like I went anywhere else, but you'll see that dot went away because the dot said that there were unsaved changes, and it automatically saved when I blurred the window or focused on another window. So that's a really helpful one. I'll show you some other really helpful ones. I really like, if you type in Beautify, I like this one by Drew Hamlet. There's a bunch that people have written, but this one has worked very well for me. And what's nice about this is it will, if you're OCD like me and you're writing your, let's say your JavaScript, and you put some weird spaces in there, and you maybe are coming from a world of C or C++, where you put your brackets on the line below the function keyword, which we don't do in JavaScript. And I don't know, you console log blah, and then you say var person is an object, but you put the spacing all wrong. Let's say I don't put these in the right place. I can hit Command-Shift-L, and it will just beautify everything. It'll make everything conform to the JavaScript standards for writing code with the spacing and everything. You can change, if you want, you can change the spaces to 2. 2 and 4 are the most common. So I'm going to keep 4, but Beautify is really nice for doing that. Another extension that I really like is called Brackets Icons. And I'm just going to search for Brackets Icons. This is the one that I have used, Brackets Icons. Let's see, 36,500, custom work, creates a bar on top of each editor for managed tabs. These are all things that you might want to just play around with. This one looks recent, it has a ton of downloads, so I may try this one and see what it does. Oh, okay, it looks like there's some settings that I can do, some extra shortcut keys and so forth. I will just, let's just save that, see what happens. This may ask you to reload brackets entirely, which is fine. And this looks pretty cool. I like these icons. This is a little HTML5 icon. Here's a little folder, and it opens and closes. That's pretty neat. I like that. So, it also puts a menu bar up top, so you can drag your files around. This makes it a little more similar to other editors, other text editors, where there's files in a little tab bar up at top. So this is a pretty cool one. Maybe I'd recommend this one. Play around with some of the extensions. It looks like the extensions may be in a different place now. It looks like it kind of reorganized the whole layout, which is fine. So play around with those. Sometimes you'll get updates to the extensions. You'll see a little green bubble, but have fun with brackets. Again, it's not the only text editor. Personally, I kind of like the feel and look of Atom a little bit better, but I haven't spent too much time in it. So the main one thing I should show you is the benefit of the live preview. So I'm going to create says hello world. It's not very original. Right here from brackets, I can click this little electricity bolt, this little lightning bolt, and it will launch. So this is the first time I'm doing this. It'll say welcome to live preview. It connects brackets to your browser, and so it'll open up a new Chrome instance and display your page on a locally running server. So it spins up a little server for you. This is really nice to just do things from here. What's also really nice, you'll see this blue bar. This shows you what your cursor is selecting in the in brackets itself. So right now I have the whole HTML selected. If I click the H1, you'll see that it just changed over to this. Let me make this a little smaller so we can see. It's called Live Preview because it updates and watches for changes. These are changes that I'm making. This seems pretty cool out of the gate. Unfortunately, when you inspect, which using your dev tools should be a pretty common occurrence for you, it will break live preview. So you'll see that, maybe you can't quite see it, but it says it was canceled because the developer tools popped open and changes no longer reflect over there. So it's kind of neat at the beginning when you're just doing styling work and everything, but once you open your dev tools, it breaks, and you can launch it again and it will open another tab and that fixes it. But anyway, play around with it. Feel free to play around with other editors. We're not forcing you to use brackets. I just know that the live preview is really nice. It's really helpful when especially we get into single page applications with Angular routing around week 4 or 5. And anyway, so this has been it for brackets. Check out the extensions and have fun coding.